Welcome to this session of product design and value engineering. In today's session, we want to discuss about two things. One is product analysis and another one is very important tool for product analysis, that is known as bill of material. Now this bill of materials is used for product analysis as well as it is used very extensively in product manufacturing on shop floor as well. So as a mechanical engineer, you should be at least aware about what is bill of material, and you will have to work your entire life with this bill of material. So make sure that you at least understand the fundamentals and requirements of bill of materials. Let us first discuss what is product analysis. Now before you start analyzing any product, you need to have some answers about the product. You have to have some idea about product. So before product analysis, you should ask what the product does, how the product is working, how the product looks, who will be using your products, how the products will be used, in which conditions the product will be used, what is expected from the product, what will happen if the product will fail, and many questions are there. You should first try to ask these questions and should have some answers about these questions before going into the product analysis, because these questions will build a base and will give some insight or some understanding to analyze your product. It will give some information about product to you. Now, what product analysis will give you? When you analyze your product, you will have certain information. You should have at least this much amount of information with you. Which materials the product is using and why you are using only those specific materials. What is the requirement of those materials? The processing which will be required to manufacture that product. And are there any alternatives to manufacture the product other than those processes? Are there any other process from which we can manufacture the same product? The economic considerations. How much cost will be there for acquiring the material, to produce the product, to process it, to sell it, to pack it? All these will be there, and you should have the information about that after the analysis of your product. The aesthetics, how your product will look like. Is it looking good? Do you want to make any changes to improve its aesthetics? Does the aesthetic of the product affects the functionality? The majority will find its aesthetics appealing or not. Does the aesthetic of the product is not in any way offensive to anyone? That also we need to make sure. So all these are the informations that product analysis will give us. Now let us discuss what is bill of material. Bill of material is basically a list or record of raw materials, sub-assemblies and supplies that are needed to construct a specific product. So bill of material is the record of raw materials, sub-assemblies and supplies used to construct a product. This is the definition of bill of materials, and it is self-explanatory itself. The product, if you are manufacturing a single product, then all the materials that you need to manufacture a product on which you are going to perform certain operations. If you are purchasing some sub-assemblies from the outside vendors, then list of those sub-assemblies and you are purchasing some other supplies which are not directly used in the product but which are indirectly used, for example lubrications, coolants, etc., then all those will be included in the bill of material, and this is how our typical bill of material will look like. Now, bill of material is useful for calculating the product cost. Why? Because bill of material contains all the information about raw material, different processes that need to be performed, and the sub-assemblies. Also, from which vendors to purchase those, and what will be the cost of all this will be considered in the bill of materials. So we can easily calculate cost from bill of materials. Also, we can have a record of the items that need to be ordered, and we can have a schedule of when to order those items. It is therefore an important input in MRP system, that is material requirement planning system. Bill of material is one of the input of MRP system. And bill of material can be single level or multi-level. Now, what do you mean by this single level or multi-level? Let us discuss that with an example. What information bill of material will have? It will have product code, it will have the description of the product, it will have the cost or mechanical characteristics of the product, it will have vendor's name, who will sell the product, from where to purchase that product. It will have its size, tan, weight, dimensions, etc. And it will have test results. If you have make mandatory that after you purchase some raw material, you also have to test them. If you have given the condition to vendor that I will purchase some steel bars from you, but you have to make sure that those steel bars have particular strength, and you have to also attach the certificate of this test. Then this also will be there in bill of materials. And estimated of actual yield of that product will be there. But these are not necessary for all the products. It will be applicable for some, it will not be applicable for some other. Now let us see what single level bill of material looks like. So single level bill of material looks like something this, in which there will be some date, there will be name of product, name of assembly, code of assembly, the date, number of parts, total cost, and all these informations, and the part number, and all the other informations related to part, its size, its number of units required. All these will be there in the bill of material. Also, there will be procurement type. Here there is a column of procurement type. What this mean by procurement type? It is how the product will be procured. It is MTD, that is made to demand, or it is OTS, that means ordered to supply. So it will be there. And what is multi-level bill of material? So in multi-level bill of materials, there will be different levels of assemblies. In single level bill of material, there will not be levels. So it is for single assembly only. In multi-level bill of materials, there will be levels, and those levels defines the sub-assemblies. For example, in this our template, there is a level 4, and there are some parts in level 4. That means that those are level 4 parts. Those need to be assembled to make some level 3 components. After those level 3 components, they will be assembled with another level 3 components that we have purchased, and we will get a level 2 assembly. And after assembling those level 2s, we will have a level 1 assembly, and after assembling those level 1 assemblies, we will have our component. So this is what a multi-level bill of material is. This is very important concept and you should be aware about it. Okay. Now what are the advantages of bill of materials? So these are different advantages of bill of materials. It will give an accurate record of the information regarding any products and purchases that you need to make. It will help you control the inventory level because it will essentially guide you to compare the current inventory you have and the number of orders you have pending and the number of parts that will be required to fulfill those orders. It will also reduce obsolete parts. Now, what is obsolete parts? The parts which were used in the past, but now they are not used in the current products because you have made some design changes. So, if you have the accurate record of what changes we have made and how many number of parts we need, we can reduce this number of obsolete parts. It will give us idea about manufacturing cost and it will help us reduce the manufacturing cost. How it will help us reduce the manufacturing cost? Suppose you want to change your design and after changing the design you make a bill of material and you compare both the bill of material for old design and new design. If your new design is having less manufacturing cost, then you are saving the certain amount of money. If your new design is having higher manufacturing cost, you will rethink your design strategy. You will make sure that you come up with a design which can be made with less cost. So this will help. It will also help in quick runs response to change in the production. If your production changes certainly, then with the bill of material you can respond to it very quickly because it will guide you to assembly processes. It will make sure that all the components and parts you need are in the place and you do not have to wait for those components. And it will improve the what-if capabilities of customer codes. Now this is very complex concepts. What-if capabilities are? If a customer demands some product from you and he is giving you a certain specification. Now you think about, okay, I am manufacturing this product. So customer wants a product which can sustain a weight up to 150 kgs. So you are manufacturing the product. But you are also considering that what if customer wanted a product which can sustain weight of 200 kg? How many changes need to be made for this product? And what if the customer asks for that product, can we manufacture those products in a certain price band with a certain cost? So these are known as what-if capabilities. The customer is not demanding the product that we are designing for the futures, but in case the customer demands, we are sure that we can manufacture them with a certain cost. So that is what we mean by what-if capabilities. Okay, so that will be all for bill of materials. Thank you.